Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's a beautiful day here in the lush green Nevada desert, which is weird to say, but kind of true. We've had a lot of rain here lately. I have one of my husband's brothers works in hydrology for the state, and so he explained to us that there's apparently a pressure ridge over the center of the country, which means that we are getting all of the rain that usually would be falling over there. So we have had a lot more precipitation than normal, and it means that the hills around our house actually have green on them, because normally we don't have a lot of trees up there, and the native plants that thrive in this environment tend to be kind of that grayish green, that sort of dull color that thrives. But right now, because of all the moisture, they have wildflowers and seeds that haven't sprouted in decades that are just responding. And so you can see the hills around us are actually green for the first time in quite a while. So it's been lovely. Speaking of lovely, I have stitching in action. We have a great submission this week from Trudy. Trudy stitched up the sort of centerpiece of the recent Stitching Squirrels group that I released. And she did it without the hoop that's designed in a sort of a rectangle around the edge. So she left that off and finished it in this beautiful circular hoop. Since she did it on 22 count fabric, 1/1, it's actually ornament sized, which is wonderful. I love this treatment. I love the finish. Thank you so much, Trudy, for sharing that with us. As always, if you have a blue flower design that you're stitching, I would love to see it. You can drop me an email, and all the info there is on the website. And I really look forward to seeing what you do. All right, what I'm stitching. I'm making slow but steady progress for the year of stitching Greyhounds. This is the DMC. It's a little bit hard to see, but you can see the original. Those white greyhounds in the outside. I'll put a picture of where I am. I'm very excited because I have officially turned the corner onto the bottom border. So I just have that bottom section of border with one more greyhound in it, and then to stitch the little metallic stars all around, and it will be done, which means I am hoping to get it done before I head off to Canada next month, and I'm very excited about that. I do think the next one I start for the year of stitching Greyhounds will be a small one, maybe Greyhound Santa, maybe one of the even smaller pieces that I've picked up, partly because it'll be good to travel with, and it'll be a quick finish if I happen to find something while I'm at Traditional Stitches that has a greyhound. So very much looking forward to that. World Around. This week is the Wool Carder Bee, and I'm going to put the name actually in here because I was telling my husband about it and he kept thinking that I was saying the Will Carter Bee. So it is not the Will Carter Bee, it is a Wool Carder Bee. And the reason that it is called a Wool Carder Bee is that the female will actually gather the fine hairs off of lamb's ear and other sort of plants that have fluffy ears and comb them, card them into shape, create a little nest, deposit one egg and a bit of food in the nest, and there they are in this fluffy little cotton ball of wool that's been lovingly carded by the female bee. The reason I chose this is because we have at least one, hopefully more than one, but at least one in our garden, and he has claimed a spot in the back garden bed. There's a penstemon there that's doing really well, and he has claimed it as his territory. And I was out weeding in the bed and couldn't figure out why this bee kept smacking into me. So I took a closer look, looked him up, used the iNaturalist app to find out more about him, and found out that Carter bees are very bossy bees. The male basically picks a good spot and then defends it against everyone else who wants to use it. So you can see him out in the garden, and I've got a little bit of a video that I'll put in as well. But he will bash into flies, wasps, honeybees, other bumblebees, and gardeners who are getting too close to his plot because he's waiting for a female to come to that area, and once he's defended his turf, then he'll get a chance with the lady bee who comes in. That is the Wool Carder bee. They're a member of the same family as leafcutter bees and mason bees. So yeah, it was an interesting one, and it forced me to look a little bit more closely at just what I assume are bees in the garden and pay more attention to what specifically is going on there. So there you go. Best thing. Oh, sorry. I jumped ahead. Questions. Last week, the question was about your favorite garden tool, and thank you all for so many good suggestions. I looked them all up and may have one or two new ones arriving here as well. The question I wanted to ask you this week is, I think it's a good time for a check-in. It's summer, the weather's changing. If you've got kids in school, the rhythms and schedules around your life are changing. The days are getting longer. And I thought it would be a good time to just check in and see how you're doing. So that's my question. How are you doing? What's going on with you? And I would love to hear from you. Then on to best things. It is sort of the tail end of baby rabbit season here, which means those baby rabbits are up and hopping about. And the best thing for us is that we, I think last weekend or maybe the weekend before, took the dogs on a walk and absolutely obliterated the previous rabbit sighting record. The record had been 7 rabbits sighted in one walk, and that stood for a couple of years actually. And then we had a walk that was a lot of baby bunnies hopping aimlessly about, not sure about being camouflaged yet, and we saw 13 rabbits in one walk. The dogs were so happy and so overwhelmed that by the end of it, they weren't even trying to hop and down and get excited. They were just, rabbits everywhere. So that was a lot of fun. That was our best thing. Giveaways. Last video, it was this beautiful thing, which I had put over here. Goodness, patting around the desk looking for it. This lovely piece, 40 count forbidden fiber lilac fabric, and lilac was the comment. The winner here is Lynn Ellis. So Lynn, congratulations. Thank you for everybody who sent in fun lilac comments. I loved reading those. The giveaway this week, Lynn, if you drop me an email, I will send you that right away. I'm all over the place this morning. I haven't quite had enough coffee, but I have had a walk on which we saw only 2 rabbits. Not a great day, but it was still fun. Anyway, I'm all over the place, but the giveaway this time is Love Bugs, number 121 from Tellin Embroidery, because I'm talking about bees. Aren't they beautiful? And you have the option with this one. It's set up so that you can do the 3 in a row, the bee, the butterfly, and the dragonfly. Or she's got an extra version, and it's a little bit harder to see, where it has love on the bottom and it's set up to be a square pillow with a little bit of extra border. So you've got good choices there. These are so fun. Little designs, not hard to stitch up, and would be a quick fun stitch. So if you use the word bee in your comments, I'll pick a winner for the next video, and you too can have this lovely stitch from Tellin Embroidery. Now, speaking of me hopping about, I've realized I totally skipped the stash spotlight. So I'm going back to that. And the one this week is this Margaretha Sypkens from SamBrie Designs. It's a reproduction sampler with tons of good information in it. I know you can get it through her website. Becca did a great job on this, and Oliver stitched up the model, I understand. But I just love the soft colors. I love the blues and the golds. And it is, large-ish, not enormous, but it's so open that it wouldn't be a tough one to stitch. So I'm looking forward to stitching that one someday, maybe after the year of Greyhounds. Or maybe I'll just put some Greyhounds in it and call it a year of Greyhound stitch. Who knows? I am drunk with power all the time. All right, announcements. I actually have several, and the first one is one that makes me sad. I'm afraid the Sunshine State Stitchers Retreat that I was scheduled to attend in October has been canceled. So I'm so disappointed. I understand it happens, but it's a bit of a letdown. I was really looking forward to seeing some of the people and meeting you, spending some time with you. So I'm very sad. I understand, but we'll have to hope that we get to see each other in person again soon. And that's the first announcement. The second one is neutral. I'm going in reverse order. So the bad news, the not particular news, and then the good news at the end. I hope it's good news. Anyway, the neutral news is I have had a request from someone who stitched up spring quail and got the kit from Quilter Station when I was there, and has run out of her almond thread. And I looked from stitching the models. I have a very teeny bit left, but she's been having trouble finding it. So the question I'd like to ask is, using the power of the group here, Do any of you know of your local LNS or online shop who carries color and cotton thread? We're trying to find the almond thread specifically. If you can just pop that into the comments, I'll gather those up and send them to her. Hopefully we can track that down so she can finish her piece without having to pull out something she's already stitched and swap colors, because that's no fun. All right, then. The last announcement, and this is the fun one, I actually did an interview with Becca from SamBrie Stitches, and I showed her piece in my stash spotlight here. But she sat down with me very graciously on Zoom and did a whole interview with some of your questions, and that is airing in her next Flosstube, which is on Father's Day, I think tomorrow. I don't know when, though. I don't know if it's going to be earlier in the day or later, but I'll put her information in the notes and on here, so you can look that up and you can see an interview where I answer some of the questions that people have. And I'll lurk around in the comments for that video as well too, so if you have any questions for me, I will be hopping in and out over there to say hello. And it was a real treat to sit down with Becca. She has a beautiful set of designs that I love and appreciate, and she's just a very nice lady. So if you're up for more of the blue flower, that's where you can find it. And otherwise, I will see you in 2 weeks. Puppy video at the end here, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. I really appreciate your taking the time to join me today, and it's something that I really look forward to. So talk to you soon.